Hi guys, welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. My name is Michelle.
And my name is Nina, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Carefree Queens. And if you don't know already, this is the show where we talk about all the latest Chelsea talking points, everything there is to know about the club. And I'm going to reinforce this, but mine and Michelle's manifesto, if you like, with this show was just to bring up the spirit, this season when we need it most. But I'm very happy to say that today it is all smiles because we have a lot to be positive about, right?
2 games. How on earth did that happen?
I don't know.
Massive, absolutely massive. Do you know what? I think I said this in the previous episode that I regretted not putting a bet on Spurs winning against us. But so I'm not at home right now, which you can sort of see by the background. I'm actually on Tenerife in Spain. And down here, apparently, the betting website I normally use doesn't work. I'm not allowed to put a bet.
Oh,
And
really?
thank God, because I could have been throwing money away because I wanted it to bet against us when we played Leeds.
I know. Wow. So in the space of our last episode, we've won 2 games.
Insane.
That's
What happened
that's
to us?
pretty
What
decent.
happened?
I'll take it. I'll
Me
absolutely
and you
take
both.
it.
Me and you both. However, I'm just a bit nervous that we're gonna get carried away with the joy, and then it's just gonna crash in the next game. But I mean, I'm not
You know
mad about
what?
it. I just want to see us do it consistently.
Mhm. Absolutely. I think yesterday's 2-0 game was just everything we've kind of needed. And you say let's not get carried away, but I can't help myself and get carried away because we turned up for a game when we needed it most, where the fans needed it
Absolutely.
most, where Graham Potter needed it most, where the board, the ownership. I think that game was wanted by everyone and it went exactly in our favor. And I think we set up really well. I was there at Stamford Bridge yesterday, and I have to say that is an atmosphere which I haven't seen there in many, many years. And that is a bold statement to make, but I well and truly believe that the atmosphere was incredible from all our home supporters. And it was from before even the game started. It was a few hours before. Everyone was gathered around the Butcher's Hook. We were singing their names, welcoming them. We were just hyping, the whole mood for the game, really. And it clearly paid off because the players walked out onto that pitch with a real kind of knowledge that they have a support behind their back and that we're backing them and we're there for them, full fire. And they played their hearts out, really.
It was
What more
such a
could you ask
contrast,
for?
wasn't it? It was, to me, it was very joyful to watch. It was joyful to see football players who played as if they had something at stake, which they clearly did, but
Mm.
just been lacking a few, 10 games, 16 games or whatever now. So it was an absolute joy to see, and I can't help but be a bit selfish. I was having FOMO. I was having so much FOMO because the atmosphere is good when you can tell through the TV, and you could tell
Mm.
it was a win. It was a massive win.
A
Should
massive
we
win.
honestly? This is not a fan cam, but we can't really help ourselves. I need to speak about Kukurea.
Oh, yeah.
What was up with that?
Honestly, Cucurella is the one player that I've criticised out of our new signings the most, right
I
before
think
the World
everyone
Cup.
has.
Some of his performances have been so, so questionable. One that stands out to me completely is Arsenal, because I thought that was an absolute shit show. On his performance there. But I think that yesterday he came into that game with a real point to prove. He basically just said, look, I'm going to do my thing. And I think that we have Potter to thank for that as well, because he selected that back three. He chose to play that back three. And I think Cucurella does a much better job in a back three than he does in a back four. And I think that maybe looking forward could be something that Potter sticks with because it works well. And with a fully fit Reece James and a fully fit Ben Chilwell, we can do absolutely wonders. Our defence was rock solid. I think defensively as well, that was one of our best performances. I just knew if Dortmund got anywhere near our box, we were clearing those balls, we were getting it out. And it's just what you want to see. You want to have some confidence, especially with the amount of goals we've conceded conceded. We haven't been scoring, but we've also been conceding. So it's been extra difficult for us. We've sort of been sticking with a goal difference of -1 to 0 to 1 to 0 to -1 all season. So that's where we're at. And that brings me on to my next point. We won by 2 goals in that game. 2 goals. And when was the last time we won by 2 goals?
However, they were really clumsy. Actually, do you know what? I don't know if this is weird to say, but I actually find it a bit comforting that we don't go from complete utter shit, excuse my language, complete utter shit, to looking like the best team ever, because this is a evolving process. Like, we were certain not to go from a 0 to 100 quickly, and I feel like that still shows a bit in our attacking side, in us scoring goals. We finally managed to get them into the back of the net, but the way we do it is still a bit clumsy.
Absolutely, but we'll take it because the ball went into the back of the net. And to be fair, funnily enough, it went into the back of the net another 3 times, except it was an offside each time. So we could take those into account as well. But no, it was obviously great to watch. It was great to see that the boys felt the hype and they felt the support, which made them play for the full 90 minutes. We played at the same level and the same quality, at the same pace, which was nice to see because we didn't have good moments. We didn't have a stronger first half or a stronger second half. It was equally good throughout the whole game, and it even was maintained with the substitutions that came on. Everyone maintained a certain level of quality, which saw us through to the end, and that's why we're through. And it seems like Chelsea play under pressure, right? We turn up for a game where we need everything to prove a point. When you go 1-0 down in the first leg, you come back at home and you have everything to play for if you want to get through. And that is exactly what we did. We haven't scored and we have hardly not let any goals in. However, with a side like Borussia Dortmund, who I believe haven't lost a game since their return from the World Cup, have been scoring left, right and centre.
They've been really, really good.
When you balance our odds versus theirs, it almost seems insane to say that we won that game 2-0. But I really, really think that attitude and mentality had a big job to play in that game yesterday, and it paid off. It really, really did. So moving forward, Michelle, we're through to the quarterfinals. We're the first among 2 teams to qualify for the quarterfinals.
Say that again. You never repeat yourself.
We're through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Do you know what? I have a flashback from Atletico Madrid when we beat them. I think it was 2-0. And at the time, again, we weren't playing well in the Prem. It seemed like things were falling apart. And when I watched us play that game, I thought, wow, this is a completely different side. And I thought that again to myself yesterday. And it was just so refreshing to see that we really, really lived up in that game. So thank you, because that's all we could have asked for. And it came through. So thank you.
Are we going to win it?
Do you know what? Someone said that Thiago Silva was injured for 2 of the games in our Champions League.
I saw that as well. The clip with Thiago, Mason and Jorginho on the stairs, right?
Yeah. Do you know what? I well and truly believe, because look, people are saying don't get carried away, you're 10th in the Premier League. However, I think these 2 things are completely different. Champions League is a tournament where, you play European teams, you have very much time to prepare for the first, the second leg, and you know what you're getting yourself into. In the Premier League, you're playing teams week in, week out, you're playing them home and away, and especially with our bad run of form, we've been losing consistently, consecutive defeats, and it's really run down our confidence. However, I think the Champions League is something completely different when we throw ourselves into another competition with, a different trophy there to win, with different clubs to compete with. And I think it really just brings the mood up. So we can't really compare the 2. Yeah, we've been rubbish in the Prem, but the Champions League is a whole different tournament. And it seems that even when we're not doing well in the Premier League, we turn up for the Champions League games, don't we? So from that aspect, why not? Why not? If we get into a run of good games, depending on who we draw as well, I think it will be fantastic to watch, definitely. I don't see why not. And also, another thing I would like to say is Graham Potter seems to had more success in the Champions League group stages than he did kind of as a whole in the Premier League afterwards. If you think about it, we did so well against AC Milan. We beat Salzburg as well. So, looking from that aspect, he had a better kind of run of games in the Champions League. There we are. We beat Borussia Dortmund 2-0 last night at home. So maybe Graham Potter is having a little bit more fun in this tournament. Maybe he has other plans in stock. Maybe Bowley does as well. Maybe that's why we're not sacking him. I don't know. Call me delusional and crazy.
There's a lot of what ifs. And I'll be the first to admit, and I have said this a few times, I am Potter out because he hasn't really shown anything. But that lineup yesterday, the only thing I was questioning was Cucurella, but Cucurella proved me wrong. That lineup looked so pleasantly offensive. And I thought it was such a nice touch with bringing on Cucurella and Ben Chilwell. That was so nice to see. So I actually...
Exactly,
I honestly didn't think I was going to say this, but I was pleased with his tactics. I never thought I was going to say this, but I was genuinely pleased to see what Potter brought for the game.
Yeah. And you say that because defensively we were amazing yesterday, but we didn't even have two of our defenders that are supposedly doing really, really well in the Prem right now. And not supposedly, I mean, Thiago Silva and Badia Shil, absolutely amazing work so far. They weren't even in that squad. So that makes me think we have great depth in our defense right now.
Yeah.
And if we stick to that formation, which proved to work with us, obviously we need to test it out in the Prem because it's obviously very different when you go up against Premier League sides. However, it worked. So looking forward, we managed to defensively do a great job with Thiago Silva, who we were so worried about. So that's hats off to them. Potter got it spot on yesterday. You get an injury, one of your best players is injured. You've got to change it up. You switch it up. And like you said, Chile and Cucurella in that formation complement each other very well. They work well. They don't potentially need to compete for that left back spot because, like I said, I don't think Cucurella plays well as a full left back than he does maybe in a back three. So potentially Potter, like you said, he needs praise for that because that was a choice that he made and his formation and tactics came through in that game. So, again, he made the substitutions at the right time. I think at one point I was a bit worried that he brought on Loftus-Cheek and obviously Gallagher in such a kind of a late second half. But as well, that came through. That was also okay. So he is really trying things out. He is... and I looked at him, Michelle, at one point, and he was like edging the players on, and he was like kind of moving up and down.
I think him as well. I was like, am I seeing this correctly? Is Graham Potter standing like this, trying to cheer on the crowd? That was so pleasant. Honestly, big up to him.
And that's what we wanted to see, right?
Sorry.
That's what we wanted to see, right?
Exactly. I'm so happy to. Do you know what? I want to cheer this guy on. If he gives me something to cheer for, if he shows me that he's passionate, if he shows me that he knows sort of what he's doing, and everything wasn't spot on last night because Kai should have hit that ball in the back of the net in that first penalty. We were very lucky to get a second try. The first major chance we had where you said Sterling was offside, what was he doing? Why was he circling himself? He should have just gone for the shot. And then the corner we had with Koulibaly, he should have scored a goal there as well and not defend the opponent's goal. So we still have a few clumsy things, but as long as we move forward. But it is an FN game, and don't we? But let's talk about Champions League and let's talk about who we would prefer to draw. It could even be obviously for tactical reasons, but even for me, I want to go somewhere warm. I don't want to go.
Do you know what? For me, my dream is to go to a European away game. I haven't been yet. So for me to even proceed through to the quarterfinals means I get to potentially go to an away European game. So I personally don't have any preferences, hot or cold. I am there.
Where would you prefer to go?
Right, so who have we got? So Benfica are through now, aren't they? We've got tonight we're playing PSG and Bayern Munich are playing. I don't really want to go to France. And to be fair, potentially, I don't think France will be anywhere near the thing.
No,
I don't know.
they won't.
I don't know.
They're playing today, right? We spoke a
Yeah.
bit about this before we started recording.
Yeah.
So they're 1-up. Bayern is 1-up.
Yeah.
They're playing at
1-0.
home today. And you saw that atmosphere in Dortmund. Germany and German fans are just known for this massive atmosphere. Usually
Absolutely.
they're gonna leave the tournament tonight.
And you
Does that
say
make
that, and I
sense?
think the fans are something special, really. They are, don't they? They know how to set up the game for the players. They know how to support them through and through, even when they're, you know, when they're 1-2-0 down. They really, really do bring it up. And those are atmospheres that I'd like to experience either way. If we could set up an atmosphere like that yesterday, then I genuinely think we can go in full fire and absolutely, you know, provoke any other European team. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. Where would you like to go?
If I purely think about a destination,
Istanbul.
and Napoli as well.
Napoli.
Napoli is so Napoli. What the hell?
Napoli.
Napoli is they're quite low. They're quite
Yeah,
far
south, quite south. Yeah, quite
so I
warm.
think Napoli would be quite fun, but Istanbul wouldn't be too bad either. I just don't
Istanbul to top it off, though. That's when our tan would already be nice from Napoli. But no, it's amazing. And do you know what? I don't even care if people are saying that we're getting carried away. If people are thinking, you know, we've seen it done before. We've seen it, you know. And I dare say that Thomas Tuchel came and proved that as well. I'm not sitting here and comparing Graham Potter to Thomas Tuchel. However, the Champions League is a completely different tournament. You can't compare a game with a game. Every game is its own kind of world and its own kind of game. So you can't really, like, even a first leg can differ so much from a second leg. That's what I'm holding on to. And I think whoever we draw from here on for the quarterfinals, we have time to prepare. We have players to integrate. We have certain players to prepare for those games as well, haven't we? And in the meantime, we're obviously going to be playing in the Prem. And that's obviously where it gets a little bit darker because we're not doing so well. And if we want Champions League football next year, Michelle, and looking at our form and our position in the table right now, there's only one way to do it. There's only one way to do it.
Why can't I say that? What would that actually mean? Because I have been thinking about that. Let's say we finish 10th, 12th of the table, but we win Champions League. Are we guaranteed to play Champions League next season? Is that what it means?
Yep, and that's the thing. That's what we have to do. There's only one way to do it, and that is to win the Champions League.
How mental is that to go about it? All right, lads, let's just get on Prem. Let's just win the Champions League, so we're sure to win it next year.
However, even like a longer sort of run into the Champions League would be beneficial for Graham Potter as well, just to have that experience, because obviously this is a manager that's had great success in his previous clubs that he's been at. He's come in obviously with a real ask into Chelsea, and he's come into obviously a team which competes in Europe, wins trophies, and that is a big ask of him. And that is the tournament. This is a tournament that he is yet to kind of prosper in. He's very new to this, and so far he's done pretty well. So this is experience for him as well as a manager. So even if we do get, you know, into the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, or wherever it may be, that is experience, and it all is a learning curve for him. So that on its own is a positive to take as well, because he didn't do well in the domestic cups, haven't been doing in the Premier League, but this is a whole different tournament. This is a whole different kind of, you know, like I said, learning curve for him. So let's see what he does. Let's see how he copes with it. He got the support yesterday. He supported his players as well. He supported the fans as well. And that is an experience and an atmosphere that we all yearn to have and to continue having. So yesterday, I think, was a great starting point for a lot of things. But
absolutely.
Definitely.
We can take a lot of positives from yesterday. And there's only really one thing to do right now, and that's to build on it, whether you're Graham Potter, whether you're a fan, whether you're Mason Mount. Like, we just, whatever we can can get out of a positive experience, we need to do that, and we need to build on it, regardless of it being in the Prem or in Champions League. Because confidence is confidence, and you can bring that in to any game.
Absolutely. Definitely. That is very, very crucial, confidence, because
Right.
we now go into the next game with some self-esteem. We haven't done that in a while. We haven't gone into a game previously have won or thrashed the team going into a game with confidence. No, we haven't done that. This is a great way to do that. So we've got Leicester as our next game, right, coming up. That's away. So we're back into the Premier League. And why not? We have some confidence. Maybe we could bring something out of yesterday and, bring it into Leicester. So we'll see how that goes on. But right now, I think we can just enjoy this moment. Okay, let us
And
have
we
our
should. We
happiness.
should just be in
We've won.
disbelief.
We've won, and we're through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League in 2023. So there is a lot to be proud of. Let's praise the team. We deserve this, and we did it in the most convincing and great way we could have possibly have done.
Absolutely. Should we wrap it up?
I think that's a great way to wrap it up.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It was a bit more of a chat this time, I think, but I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as
Absolutely.
well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, cfctvyt. Leave a comment down below. Give the video a like, and maybe even find Nina and I on our social medias. I try to drop a comment on every single video, so I will drop her and my Instagram account, and you can check us out if you want to. All right.
Definitely. Thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure, and up the Chels.
Up the chills. Cheers. Bye, guys.